We're going to talk about today how to become the best versions of yourself. What actually makes a high-value man? Because I get asked this question all the time. So we're going to make it very clear what a man is and what a man should be. And we're going to explain it in an extremely concise, compendious, detailed way. When people look at you, why do they see you as a high-value man? Do you have anything you project? Do you project true bravery? Do you project true confidence? Or do you need to talk to try and convince people of these things? They say confidence is quiet. It can also be very loud, but you don't want to live in a delusion. That's the first thing. So I want every single person here who's actually taking notes to think, if I can't talk, how am I judged? If I can't speak, what do people think of me? How am I projecting my value to the world if I can't say a word? You're talking about how do you make content that makes you stand out? Well, if you stand out as a man, then your content will stand out because you'll have exactly the right things to say and you'll be trusted and believed because people will see in your eyes and know that you're more than just a loud mouth. Because manhood is exceptionally hard and life is hard. But how you shape yourself will determine how hard it is for you and how miserable it will be. As a man, there is no easy life. If you're looking for an easy life, you should have been a girl. You made a mistake.
Yep.
Your life is not about being easy. Your life is not about being happy. Your life is always going to be difficult. All of the pain you feel, all of the sadness you feel, you're supposed to feel as a man, and you have two effective binary choices. You either go through the suffering and go through the trauma and go through the hardship it takes to be a man of value, or you suffer eternity as a nobody. And being invisible, I would argue, is almost worse. You can have a very stress-free life if you work in Starbucks. You don't care about the Starbucks once you clock off. You're not at work at the time. You go home, you play video games, and you exist until you die. That's stress-free, but you have to suffer being a nobody. Alternatively, you can go out there into the world, try and implement your mark on the world, work hard, try to get rich, more money, more problems. You can try and start a business, the stress of that. You can lose your girlfriend because all you're doing is working. This is a new level of stress, a new level of trauma, but at least you'll be a somebody at the end of it. There's two ways to suffer. You either suffer to become a somebody, or you suffer as a perpetual and forever nobody. There is a burden of expectation on you as a man. You're expected to do the impossible all of the time. You're expected to perform regardless of how you feel. And if you don't meet those expectations, you will be forever punished by life, by your girl, by your friends, by existence. There's no other option but to be a G about it. You have to just be a G. People say, how did you and Tristan handle jail? What am I going to do? Not handle it? What does that even mean? Want to bang my head against the wall? You have to just get it done.
Do anything.
You have to just get it done. If you're a full-grown man and you wake up, you should feel fire in your blood to conquer the world. If you wake up and you don't feel fire in your blood, it has been suppressed on purpose. Somebody has come along and said something or done something to you that has destroyed your innate, natural, God-giving, masculine quality to want to go out there in the world and do amazing things. But you wake up and you just want to sit around your house. Why? They've done that to you on purpose. It's on purpose. It's all purposeful. And you've fallen for it. You've been programmed by the Matrix. You have to resist. You have to find out exactly how they're getting this crap in your mind and resist it. You need to have a strong network of men who don't allow you to make these mistakes. What's the point in being alive as a man if you don't live for anything bigger than yourself anyway? Am I going to live for myself and just hedonistically eat ice cream like a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm rich now, so I'm just going to eat ice cream all day. No, I'm going to tell the truth. And if I have to suffer for it, then that's the consequences. It's fine. War is certain for all of us. We're all fighting different battles. You can either suffer the intense pain it requires to become a somebody or suffer the intense pain of being a forever nobody. You're a man. You have responsibilities. I think we're here to do important things, and important things are going to be difficult, and they're going to be hard, and you're going to get frustrated. But that's what gives you purpose. Yeah. I don't see anyone who's chasing happiness. I think that's a very feminine frame. I understand why some women just want to be happy. But you're a man, right? And if you're a man, then it's absolutely an utterly different experience of life. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. Yeah. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human. I think that it's almost like once you understand what life is really about, there's no emotion which isn't enjoyable. The only emotional state which can be seen as detrimental is feeling nothing at all. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to go through pain. That's how I wake up each day and go, what can I attack? What problem can I solve? And look at history. Why did Genghis Khan wake up and want to conquer the whole world? Why did Napoleon conquer the world? Why did Alexander the Great conquer the world? You just wake up and just say, give me this, give me that. I want all of it. I need to, there's an army there. They're really big. We're better. It's intrinsic. Yeah. You need to go and conquer because if you don't struggle, you don't learn.
Yeah.
God created us to learn and understand ourselves and understand other people and understand the world. And what did I say earlier? I said that you don't learn a lesson or you don't appreciate something without pain. So you have to struggle to learn anything. There's only two ways to learn things, the hard way or the harder way. If you're smart, you can learn the hard way. But in my experience, 99% of the planet only learn the hardest possible way. If the lesson's even 85% effective, they'll make the same mistake. It's only when they completely decimate and destroy an element of their life do they sit there and go, oh, now I get it.
No.
That's how it goes.
There's a lot of men out there, especially in the world today, who only want to do things because they feel a certain way, not understanding that that doesn't make them competitive. The biggest question I get asked all the time is, hey, I lack motivation. And it's an annoying question to me because so do I sometimes. I don't always feel motivated to go to the gym. I don't always feel motivated to work. I don't always feel motivated to do what I need to do, but I do it anyway. It's called discipline. And if you're going to wake up every day and lack the motivation to do what should be done and compete against people who will do it irregardless of how they feel, you're going to perpetually and forever lose. When you're asking someone for motivation, what you're effectively doing is saying, make me want to do it. I don't want to do it. Make me want to. No, you have to do it. Or you can stay a loser. The best thing you can do as a man is try to make your mark on the world and make people understand how and why you think and try and be a positive influence and have children.
Everyone has a dream, but not many people have a plan. A dream and a plan are different things. When you say to guys, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. How will you get rich? So you can have a dream with no plan. When's the last time something fantastic has ever happened on accident? When's the last time you've seen a big jacked dude and you say, hey man, how'd you get so jacked? And he goes, dunno, oops. It just happened. No, he planned it. He went to the gym, he ate a certain way, he planned his meals, he had to make it happen. It's exactly the same with getting rich. You need a plan to get rich, right? Everyone out there has a dream, but very few people have a plan. Yep. If you're surrounded by people who have a plan to get rich, and you provide value to them in some way, because they're not going to drag you up if you ain't doing nothing, because that's what friendship is. Friendship is value exchange. Yeah. If you provide value to them, sooner or later you're going to begin to make money.
The problem with most people in the world today is not that they do a normal thing, it's that they do a normal thing and they don't try to be the best at it. Name a normie job.
Making coffee.
Making coffee, boom, you're a barista. So the first thing you need to do is get very good at making coffees. That's the first thing you need to do. Be able to do it in a fancy way. Then you need to solicit attention. Well, if you can make coffees in a fancy way, you can hire a videographer, you can then begin to make fancy coffees in a fancy way, and you can make it look good with a finalized product, and you can get a nice video made that's well cut with some fancy music. You can begin to put them on Instagram and solicit people to watch your Instagram. Now you have attention. How do you then turn that attention into money after you began to show your fancy coffees? Well, you could, let's say, put together a course or an academy or write a book on the magic of coffee or the secrets of coffee. And you would put a mystery on it. Don't say, I'll teach you how to make coffee. No, say the secrets of coffee. You'd have a link in your Instagram page and it would be $9 and it would tell people the secrets how to make coffee. You'd start to sell that for $9. You'd make a couple hundred or a couple thousand, not too much, but you continue to make fancy coffees. People continue to go to your Instagram page. You're now selling the secrets of how to make coffee. Then after people start knowing you as being a barista, you start to make these $9. You have $20,000, $30,000 in the bank. What you can do is launch your own coffee brand. You can go to Alibaba.com, you can find some coffee beans, you can put your face on it because your face is now a recognized brand. You can get your own coffee beans, you can begin to sell them on Instagram. Before you know it, you're making $10,000 or $15,000 a month. You can start to do tours. You can start to put posters on your Instagram or in your Instagram stories saying, I'm gonna do master classes on how to make coffee, 20 people only, $1,000 each at this premium barista specialty coffee shop in London. The coffee shop will allow you to do it for free because they want people to know, get the advertising from you and your brand. You'll charge $1,000 each, that's 20 grand for a day to teach people how to pour milk in a cup. Boom, you've got a coffee brand, you've got an online school, you're doing seminars, you were a nobody, you worked in Starbucks, you were a loser, you put in a little bit of effort, now you drive a Ferrari. Done. It is that easy to get rich in the world today if you actually try. Some people are so lazy that they will work every day instead of get rich. And they think because they're working every day that they're not lazy. I'll argue you're exceptionally lazy because you're so lazy that instead of trying and thinking outside of the box, you now have to enslave yourself for eternity. Everything I just told you about that could work for an electrician. So you ask, how can people make money? Well, let's imagine every barista who watches this now tries my idea. The winner is going to be one, the person who makes the most beautiful coffee, the person who makes the most beautiful videos, the person who works the longest, who tries the hardest, who makes the most videos, who makes his $9 Secrets of Coffee book that he sells on Amazon the best book, who gives the most value in his masterclass, who gets the best coffee beans for his coffee brand. And then it comes down to hard work. People say work smart, not hard. Disagree. Work smart and hard, because lots of people are working smart. I work smart and hard, so there's no avoiding the hard work. This idea that you can work smart and not hard, I don't buy that. I believe you're going to have to work hard, but you have to work on the right thing and work smart first. If you don't work smart, you're not on the starting line. So working smart puts you on the starting line. Then you got to work hard to win the race. The one of you that works hardest is going to be the one that makes the money. And then perhaps if you make a bunch of money, you can join the war room and you can come and speak to one of us in person. When you believe in something, you give it power. So I tried to say that when I felt at my lowest and I achieved the most I've ever achieved in my life, the reason I was capable of doing that is because I didn't believe in the paradigm of being a depressed person. I just believed that this is how I currently feel. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my life to be better. And I gave a very simple example, an analogy. I said, if you take two people, one believes in ghosts and one doesn't, you put them both in haunted houses, and in the middle of the night, there's a bang. The person who believes in ghosts is now terrified. There's a ghost, they're calling an exorcist, they're panicking in the room, they're hiding. The person who doesn't believe in ghosts goes wind and goes back to sleep. It's the same noise, it's the same scenario, but it's the belief in their mind that and ruins their life. It's the belief in their mind that turns against them. And I've said this many times. I don't even give a shit about right and wrong. You can tell me depression's, you can give me with every scientific proof in the world, depression, I refuse to believe in things that take my power away from me. I'm only going to construct a mental model that allows me to be as powerful as possible. If believing in the idea of depression is going to take my own power away, then I won't believe in it. I don't want to believe in things that make me weak. I believe in things that make me strong. And someone goes, well, you're wrong. Let's assume you're correct and that makes me wrong. Let's say that you're right and you're depressed. Why would I want to adopt the thinking of a man who is sad? Why would I want to think like you? I don't believe in things that take power from me. I never have. So when people email me and they start saying, I'm depressed. And what's funny is this, and they desperately defend the idea of depression. I'm like, my friend, you just told me you're too depressed to be successful and depression has destroyed your life and you lost your girl. I'm telling you that enemy, the enemy in your life isn't real. And you're now sending me 10 emails a week trying to convince me that your enemy is a real thing. Why are you sticking up for your enemy? This person, whatever it is, this idea destroyed you and you're putting your energy into defending it. I'm never going to believe you. I'm never going to adopt your thinking because your life is not successful enough for me to emulate. So why don't you try to adopt my way of thinking? Stop defending this. And they're defending it because it's a cure-all excuse. Depression or sadness is a cure-all excuse for men to use for failure. I have failed. This is why they say I don't believe in men's mental health, or the man who's depressed can't compete with the man who's not depressed. This quote. I say, listen, you get to roll out, be fat, be out of shape, be broke, be unimportant with no girlfriend. And instead of the world thinking you're a loser, you get to say, I'm not a loser, I'm depressed. It's a shield. Yeah. And I say, that's why you don't want to lose your shield. Because now you have accountability, now you have performance. It's a cop-out. Fuck it off. I don't give a shit if it's real or not. We're not about that. We're talking about success here. Get rid of your excuses, stop defending the thing that's ruined your life, and get to fucking work. And every time anyone has ever listened to me in history, ever, every single one of them's transformed their lives and messaged me positive messages afterwards. Every single fucking time. That's why I'm anti-depressant. Because that pill ain't gonna fix you the way becoming the man you wish you were is gonna fix you. So I don't like negativity in my space. I create my reality extremely efficiently. We don't believe in negativity because if it's infectious and it's sticky. And even if someone's negative, even if you talk them out of it, it still stains the air, right? If you're in a trench and you're under fire, the least productive person is the person who goes, they've got too much artillery, we're gonna die. Shut up. We all know. Shut up. That's not helping us, right? It's very infectious. So, and most people understand, they say, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Then why the f are you spending time with negative people? Or people who complain? Or unhappy people? Or unlucky people? Or negative people? Stop talking to them. Everyone I talk to is like, yep, we are winners. All we do is f***ing win.
If you want something, you find time. So don't sit and lie to me and pretend that you want to network and you can't do it, and you want to make money and you don't have time. Because if you really wanted to, you'd be able to do everything. You get what you give in the world. If you want to feel loved, the best way to do that is to give love. If you want to feel respected, the best way to do that is to give respect. If you want to have good brothers, the best way to do that is to be a good brother yourself. And you're not a very good brother if you're broke. You're not a very good brother if you're not a very good brother if you're lazy, and you're not a very good brother if you're weak. So those are 4 things you can improve, because birds of a feather flock together, and I don't hang around with anybody who's those 4 things. If you can sleep just fine being broke, then guess what? You're always going to be broke. That's life. If you go to bed and you can't sleep because you're furious at the fact that I can buy a new supercar every day and you don't have a single one, then you might do something about it. So it's down to you and it's your own personal decisions. And I think we've discussed this in a lot of different emergency meetings, but there's no such thing as busy. There's no such thing as don't have time. That's all garbage. There's only 3 reasons people don't have money, and I've discussed them before. It's being stupid, it's being lazy, it's being arrogant. And to me, you sound like, well, you're not stupid because you're inside the real world and you're making money. You're not particularly arrogant because you're asking us how to do it. That's fine, but perhaps you're a little bit lazy. So you need to know what to do. You need to get it done.
Well, it's not an issue of juggling things. Everyone only has 24 hours in the day. So me, with my net worth, I have 24 hours in a day. Someone who's completely broke and, is wasting their life playing video games who has no money, he also has 24 hours in a day. So it's not about juggling. It's simply about choices, and it's about discipline. The truth is you have to do all of them. And especially when you're young, I'm getting a bit older now, but especially when you're young, my advice is sleep less. Oh, I don't have time to work out. How many hours a day do you sleep? 7? Make it 6. The energy boost from being in shape will compensate for the 1 hour lost sleep.
So we live in a very, very fast world now where things are happening extremely quickly. And people who are slow or are slow to adapt or slow to change always get left behind and get wrecked. Darwin said it in The Origin of Species, said that the most adaptable species survive. He didn't say it's the strongest or the fastest or the hardest to kill. He says it's the most adaptable, the one that can adapt quickest to a changing scenario or changing situation. And I think it's the same for humans as well. The ones who are going to be the most successful are usually the most adaptable and also the quickest. Think about the people who quickly adopted to, Bitcoin, for example, or quickly adapted to selling things online, or quickly adapted to starting their own YouTube channel. Being first, you'll do very well going first. So adaptation is extremely important. Speed's extremely important. And most people are living under constraints, and the largest constraints they have are obviously the order of society, which is constructed by governments, because governments need to know who's inside of their countries and who lives there and who travels. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? And if you have one government that's constraining you, you lack adaptability. So that's adaptability. I have a choice. I have an option that other people don't have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you got to be able to be mobile, man. And if anything, the little cough situation that happened about 2 years ago, guys, showed that you really can be enslaved anytime. And you guys got to be able to, you got to create that freedom for yourself.
And I think one of the biggest problems with the world today is that men keep talking about how they feel. There's not a single man around me who says, I feel. Like, I live with guys and we have this big house and we're all having fun all the time. And I'm trying to think of a man around me who says, I feel. Because nobody cares. Why would I care how you feel? Why would life care how you feel? Society doesn't care how men feel. So if nobody cares how men feel, why do they care how they feel? You wake up and you have a list of things that need to be done. You're either going to do them or you're going to make excuses. And how you feel has no bearing on that list. The list must be completed irregardless of how you feel. So why are we even putting importance on those feelings? I think you learn to ignore feelings early on. You can learn to ignore pain and many other things. And I think that's the best way a man should be. I think that's how you become brutally competent and competitive. If you have values, whatever they are, then you're going to have to sustain those values. If you don't work for something or you're not prepared to suffer or struggle for something, then you don't love it and you don't believe in it anyway. If you love a woman, you'll struggle to keep her. If you love a country, you'll struggle to defend it. If you love a sport
or a business,
you're going to work for it. If you're not working for it, then you don't love it anyway. So the values come with obligations, and those obligations are to fulfill your duty irregardless of how you feel. Bad things can happen. It's a terrible experience. You're going to suffer. I enjoy all of those things. If you ask the average man to think back on the times of his life that he really suffered or he hated, usually if they're a good man, retrospectively they're glad they happened. At the time you may hate them, but not very many men are going to sit and say, oh, I wish I didn't have to go through that. Maybe the loss of a loved one or something. But in general, I think they're the best things that ever happened to people. I'll give you an example. I had a guy message me and he said, Andrew, I don't know what to do. I'm 5'1". I'm really short. I'm training and I've got lots of money and I'm really short and I don't know what to do. I was like, bro, do exactly what you do if you were tall. Be confident and be your best self and train as hard as possible and be a good person and make money and be dedicated and be diligent. Why would anything change? You are who you are and you play the hand you have. Just like in poker, you can't help if you have pocket aces or something else. You play the hand and that's how you win the game. You can win a game with nothing. You can bluff your way through it. So when I say I don't have insecurities, it's not because I can't think of anything about myself that isn't perfect. It's just because I don't care. It doesn't matter. This is who I am. This is the life I'm going to live. I'm going to do my absolute best, irregardless of what I have. Heaven forbid something bad happens to me. I'm in a car crash and I'll lose my arm. Well, I'll still get up and just train and work and see my children, and I'll do exactly the same things I'm doing now. What can you do? So I think insecurities are a waste of time. I think it's a waste of cognition to even sit and consider an insecurity. I am who I am. So I don't know. I can't think of any insecurities. I can't. War is certain for all of us. We're all fighting different battles. You can either suffer the intense pain it requires to become a somebody, or suffer the intense pain of being a forever nobody.
Yeah.
It's your choice.